Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to our last session before lunch. Thanks for those of you that have been on all day. Thanks for hanging with us. We've been going since before 8 a.m., Dave. Um,
Wow.
I'm happy to introduce our second Dave in a row. Could have been three Daves in a row, but the first Dave didn't show up. Anyway, so third Dave in a row. This is David Martin from Verifyle. This is a slightly different partnership than some of the other presenters today. So Verifyle, we've partnered with them. I think we're going on 4 years as well, but they are actually a member benefit. So the Verifyle platform that Dave's going to be demoing for you guys today comes free with your membership for you to use. Unlimited document signing, secure messaging. I'll let Dave demonstrate. He does it. He does a very high level, very quickly in 30 minutes. I'll throw a link to our webpage up, Dave, that has more information and other videos. But we have almost 500 members now registered and using Verifyle. So it's been very popular. It's very powerful. And it is free for COCPA members. So thank you, Dave, for taking some time out to do a quick demo for the group here, and I'll hand it over to you.
Great. Let's see if I can manage this screen sharing business. Okay. Let's see. Daryl, can you see my screen or you're just looking at me?
Still just you.
Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, I think. How about now? Uh-oh, I can't hear anybody.
Oh wait, it looks perfect.
Okay, great.
I was
Appreciate that.
muted. Sorry. Yeah, you're good.
Okay, no problem. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. A little bit of technical difficulties, but I think we'll still be able to get you to lunch on time. My name is Dave Martin. I am with the company Verifyle, and I'm going to be showing you how Verifyle works today. It's going to be kind of a quick overview. So if you have questions, you can ask them at the end, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Verifyle is a free benefit for every member of COCPA. And the version of Verifyle that members get is actually Verifyle Pro. So that's normally a paid version of Verifyle. It includes unlimited IRS compliant digital signatures. It includes PDF editing. It includes secure sharing and a bunch of other features, some of which I'll cover in just a few minutes. The way you get the benefit is you go to verifyle.com/COCPA and then just sign up there with the email address that COCPA has on file for you. So you do have to use the email address that they recognize you to be a member with in order to get the free benefit. But when you do that, you'll notice that you get the pro version of Verifyle for free. You don't have to do anything else. So, and I'll show you that URL a little later so you can write it down. But basically, Verifyle is a secure way to share messages and documents back and forth with anyone. This includes your clients. It could be your lawyer, could be your doctor. It's not designed specifically for any one industry. It's just an ultra secure way to share information. And it's not just for sharing, it's also for storage. Inside Verifyle, you could create a workspace that you use just to store important documents for yourself. We do include unlimited electronic signatures with the pro version of Verifyle. And then we also have, you could essentially think of it as a client portal for your clients, an easy way for them to share documents with you as well as for you to share documents with them. So let me show you what it, oh, so easy, even adults can use it. I think I made this joke in my last presentation as well, but one of the things that people really seem to love about Verifyle is that literally anyone can use this product. Even your least tech savvy clients, who hate using computers, have a really easy time getting into Verifyle, signing documents, sharing documents back and forth with their tax preparers and their accountants. And so we like to emphasize that because a lot of the systems that are out there are really hard to use. As an example, we get a lot of complaints about ShareFile just being convoluted with features that no one knows how to use and can't find when they need them. So we put the slide up there to show you just how easy it is. Really, anyone can use it, and we're real proud of that. Another thing that makes us unique is our encryption. So we actually have a patent on our encryption key management technology. It's called CellUcrypt. And unlike other storage and sharing services, which maybe use one encryption key to encrypt everything in your account, we actually use 6 different encryption keys for every single data object that is stored or shared in Verifyle. So it makes it really difficult to crack into our servers and really difficult to hack in and scoop out a bunch of data. If someone were to hack past these keys, which would be nearly impossible using all the computing power in the world to do, even if they hacked the key, they still would have 5 more to go in order to get one data object. So it really is a secure way to store and share information because of this patent. So let's get into how it looks and just how easy it is. It's really just a few clicks for you to start sharing with someone, and I'll show you exactly how that works. So this is the Verifyle home screen. I'm actually looking at our head of sales's Verifyle account. His name is Dana Shibley. You see that up in the right corner there. So Verifyle is divided into 2 sections. You can see right now we're looking at the Contacts tab, and to the right of that is the Workspaces tab. But let's just show you real quickly how easy it is to just add a new contact and start sharing with them. So if you click this plus sign up here in the upper left-hand corner next to Contacts, it'll open a little window here where you add the name and email address of whoever you want to share it with. So let's say I'm adding Christine Carson. Let's say her email address is christinevf@mail.com. And I click add. And then you'll see there she is at the top of my list of contacts. Now, in the middle of the screen here, you'll see this area where I can just start sharing immediately with Christine. You'll notice it says private messages with Christine Carson here at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and type her a message. Hi there, Christine. Please review the attached document. Then I click the paperclip here if I want to attach a document, just like an email attachment. Very familiar, very easy to use for anyone. And then I click send, and that's it. Christine will get an email alert telling her that Dana has shared information with her in Verifyle, and that email alert will contain a link which will take her straight into Verifyle where she'll see this message and have access to this document. Okay, let me show you what Christine sees. So now I'm pretending I'm logged into Christine's account here. Christine sees exactly the same thing. So you'll notice it says private messages with Dana Shibley now at the top, but she sees the message I just typed for her, and she now has access to the document that I just shared. And she's got this little blue dot here indicating to her that this is something new for her. And this little red 1 also is a way of her knowing that there's something new inside Verifyle for her. So Christine, she sees this stuff. She might type me a message back. Thank you, Dana. Let's discuss later. So then Christine clicks send. You'll see the message is posted in Christine's thread. And if we go back to Dana's system, you can see Dana can see exactly the same thing. So you see everything that's been shared by your contacts and everything that you've shared with them in the thread with that one contact. Okay. I know I'm going a little bit fast, but the idea here is you can click any one of these contacts to open up a private message thread in the middle of the screen where you can share back and forth securely with that one contact. Okay. So now I want to talk about the workspaces area. Workspaces are sort of like folders. They're essentially organizational units that help you keep things organized inside Verifyle. And it allows you to present information in a really professional way to your clients. Let me show you what I mean. So right now I've opened one of my workspaces. This workspace is called Client Christine Carson. Okay, so I built this workspace specifically for Christine. And you'll look on the left here, you've got guests inside this workspace, and you've got workspace threads. And you can see the guests here. I've got Christine, obviously, my main client. Christine asked me to add her lawyer, so her lawyer is a guest in this workspace. And Sammy's spouse, Christine's spouse, is also a guest in this workspace. Now, below these guests, we have workspace threads. So these are threads that you create, and you can think of them as group threads. They're essentially a thread that you create, and you can add guests. You can give guests permission to view those threads, and then they can all communicate with each other in one big group. And you'll notice these little tiles here, CCLLSS underneath estate planning on the left. That shows you that these three people have access to that workspace thread. And if you look down here at tax planning, you can see that only Christine and her spouse have access to that workspace thread. And this top workspace thread called My Reference Materials, no guests have access to it. That's because that's just an area for me to keep things organized for myself. So this is just one way of looking at this entire client situation for Christine Carson. And it's a way of keeping things organized and in groups so that when we want to talk about estate planning, I can look at this thread. But if I want to talk about tax planning, I can click and open the tax planning thread, and I can share information related to taxes inside this thread. Okay, so you could sort of think of workspace threads as subfolders inside the folder that is a workspace. And inside those subfolders, you can give guests permission to view them, and then you can share messages and documents with those guests inside those workspace threads. And it's also worth mentioning that you can request signatures from any of these guests in any of these threads. Okay. So I mentioned that the top workspace thread called My Reference Materials, again, no guests have access, but if I wanted to give them access, I could give them access in a second, and I'll show you how to do that. So this one is just for me, My Reference Materials. But let's say I wanted to change the permissions here. You can see the estate planning website with the red box around it on the left. Currently, Christine Carson and Lisa Lawyer and Sammy's spouse all have access, but what if I want to change that? How do I do that? Well, there's a little gear icon here that you can see. And when I click that gear icon, you'll see a bunch of options. One of those options, well, let me go over the options. One is just to open the thread. Another one is you might want to change the name of the thread. You can actually attach documents from this thread to another thread. You could mark it as unread, or you could print the whole thread. But what I really want to do now is I want to change permissions. So if I click Manage Permissions, it will show me exactly who has permission to view this workspace thread. I'm the person who created this workspace. I'm the person who created this workspace thread. So only I get to decide exactly who's allowed to see this workspace thread and its contents. Okay, so you can see Christine, Lisa, and Sammy, they all have the toggle to the right here, turning it blue. They all have access. But let's say I wanted to switch Lisa Lawyer out for a new lawyer. Let's say Lisa Lawyer's charging too much and not paying enough attention. We want to get rid of her and bring in somebody new. I can uncheck Lisa's box. And if I clicked plus here next to guests, I could add someone else. So let's say I have another lawyer friend who I think would be great for this job. His name is Lenny. I bring Lenny in. I toggle his switch to blue. And then I click save. And now you can see here at the top, Lenny Lawyers is now here. Lisa Lawyer no longer has access to this thread, but Lenny now has access to all of the messages and documents that were ever posted to this thread. So Lenny can go back and review everything that was discussed. He can look at all the relevant documents. He has access to every single message, every single document. This could have been going on for months. Imagine trying to bring Lenny up to speed using email. Lenny can review this entire project in just a matter of minutes, and no one had to go back and search for emails and forward them to him and get him up to speed and try to dig through old archive files to find him what he needs. It's a really quick way to transfer knowledge from one person to another. And all you did was change the permissions on that workspace thread. And I'll also just notice here that instead of it being Christine, Lisa, and Sammy, you now see it's Christine, Lenny, and Sammy. You tell it's Lenny because he's got a red tile instead of a purple tile there. Okay. So one thing that Verifyle offers is what we call situational awareness. So some of you, I'm sure, have used a feature in certain email clients where you can ask for read receipts. Basically, you want to know when someone has read the email that you sent them. Okay. And I think the recipient can decide not to participate in that, but getting those read receipts can be really beneficial. You know, when someone's looking at an email, you might want to call them up and discuss what you sent in that email. Well, Verifyle has something similar, but I think even better, and I'll show you how that works. So again, I'm inside the workspace called Christine Carson, client Christine Carson. And if I look over to the right, I can see a document called Life Insurance Policy.pdf. Now, I think this is a really important document that I shared with Christine, and I want to know, has she looked at it yet? Does she care that I shared this with her? And so I can find out exactly who has looked at this document by clicking the little gear icon that you see when you hover your mouse over this item. And you see a list of options. By the way, the gear is a really important concept to understand. Whenever you roll your mouse around on your Verifyle screen, you'll see these little gears popping up when you hover your mouse over any one item. Clicking that gear always gives you options for what you can do with that item. And so knowing that you just try the gear, when you're wondering how to print something, when you're wondering how to change something, the gear icon always is your friend when you're looking to take an action. So I click the gear icon when I hover my mouse over that document, lifeinsurancepolicy.pdf, and I get a bunch of options. I could rename the document. I could send the document to another contact. I could download it, preview it. I could download multiple documents using this gear icon, or I could mark it as unread to remind myself to look at it later. But what I want to do is I want to know, has Christine looked at this document yet? That's why I'm in here. So if I click View Access History, I'll see a list of everyone who has ever looked at this PDF. And you can see Christine Carson, well, she's viewed it 2 times. All right. Shared a document with her and she cared. Sometimes they never look. So I'm happy to see Christine has viewed this twice. Lisa Lawyer has not seen the document yet, and Sammy Spouse has also not seen the document. So a lot of information crammed into this little window, and you can access it just by using the gear icon and clicking View Access History. And if I click Christine's name, I can actually see specifically when did she look. So I could see that she looked at it twice, 2 different times on the same day, back in August of last year. Okay. Another way to see if someone has viewed what you've shared is simply to click their name at the top of the thread. So you can see I'm in the estate planning thread here. You can see that it's blue here. It's connected to the estate planning thread over here. I clicked that to open the thread. And along the top here, you see everybody who has permission to view the estate planning thread. So that's Christine Carson, Lisa Lawyer, Sammy Spouse. If I click any one of their names, I can see the last time they looked at this thread. So in this case, I click Lisa Lawyer, it says she hasn't viewed it yet. But if I were to click Christine Carson, it would tell me the last time she was in here. So it's a really quick way to see when was the last time somebody viewed a thread where you might be sharing really important information. Okay, so 2 things to remember here. One is the gear icon. That little gear icon pops up whenever you're hovering your mouse over an object. Click it to see what your options are. And the other thing to remember is that there are always ways to see whether or not someone has viewed what you shared. Either that's looking at the access history of the document or just by clicking their name at the top of any thread. Okay. Oh, yeah. Let's see if I click Christine Carson, it tells me the date and time when Christine actually viewed this thread. Really important information. Okay. I'm not going to go into the full process of digital signatures, but I will show you how it looks roughly, and I will show you essentially how it works. If any of you can guess the signature that I have here on the screen, you get bonus points for guessing that correctly. Okay. So when you go to create a signature request, you'll basically open a document like this, and you will draw boxes where you want signatures to appear. And you have different options. So if I click this little down arrow, I'd be able to choose whether I want signature, date, initials, or a custom field. You can see here I've selected the date. So I draw these 2 boxes, and that's where I want Christine to sign and date this document. And what I could do here is I could go to next signer and then set it up for the next signer. You have to set a document up for each signer individually. We have videos on our YouTube channel that you can look at that'll give you a lot more detail, but it's really simple. You basically take your mouse, draw the boxes where you want the signatures to go, and then hit next. And at the end of the process, the recipient is alerted that the signature request has been made. And then when they click the link, they come in and just click X's to sign everywhere where you ask them to sign. And we do have signature templates here too. It's a fairly new feature, but if you wanted to, if you're planning to use this same document with many clients and you wanted these boxes to appear in exactly the same place for every one of those clients, you could save this position as a template and reuse it later. And then we also have what we call a document signing audit report. This report exists for every document that's ever signed in Verifyle. You can access this document by clicking the gear icon that appears when you hover your mouse over any signed document, and it'll say View Signing Info. And when you click it, you'll see you have all of the IRS mandated data that needs to be collected when someone signs a document. So name, email address, we have specific user IDs that identify them uniquely in Verifyle. The IP address is also something that is required by the IRS, which we include in this report, as well as their agreement to terms. I didn't show you this feature, but you have the option to ask them to agree to any terms before they're allowed to sign. The standard terms that we write for you are I agree to do business electronically, but you may want to modify those, and you can very easily in Verifyle when you request a signature. So this report becomes really important. You can print the report. It will always be there with the signed document, even if you don't print it, but it's something that that gives you any information you need. If the IRS ever said, hey, how is this signature valid? Do you have this information? It's always found in this signing audit report. Okay. Another thing you can do in Verifyle is you can do some document editing. It's not a full PDF editor. So if you're used to using a product like Adobe Acrobat or a really robust PDF editor, maybe that you're paying a monthly fee for, we probably don't have all the same features that they have, but we do have some features that make this really powerful and useful. So I'll show you what those are. So whenever you go to preview a document, you can click a little pencil icon, you can see it to the top right here, to enter the PDF editor mode. And when you do that, you see this sort of purple screen comes up, and there's a few different things you can do here. So if you wanted to, you could rearrange pages, just drag and drop. You could also add an annotation. So if you wanted to just add a little note somewhere or add your signature to a document, you can do that by clicking this Add Annotation button. And you also have the option here to merge documents. So let's say you had 10 PDFs with signature lines on 5 of them, and you wanted to send it all as one big batch for your clients to sign. You could go in here, merge them all together, and create one new document that would be all of those documents merged together. And then you could request all of the signatures on that one document and make it really simple for your client to sign. So you also can delete pages here just by clicking each of these X's, get rid of them if you don't want them. Sometimes you'll find PDFs that have blank pages for no reason, and you can easily get rid of them by clicking the X. And then on this screen also, you have the ability to download a document or print a document, or even to request signatures on the document if you were to click this little flag. Okay, so that's mostly what I wanted to cover for inside the product. I'll quickly, just to review sort of the benefits of using Verifyle. It's really easy to use. When we started the company, we definitely thought our security would be the main attraction to Verifyle, and we believe it still is an important part of what we offer. But it seems more and more that the reason people really love using Verifyle is because both they and their clients can use it. No problem. They have no issues. Clients get in, they sign documents, they share messages back and forth. There's not a whole bunch of clutter with features and windows and tabs and pages that they need to navigate. It's really easy to use. We do have our patented security, CelluCrypt, which again is 6 keys for the price of 1, far harder to crack. You do get unlimited electronic signatures with your Verifyle Pro account, and it really is a value add for your clients. You know, if you're doing taxes or you're accounting for a client for years and years, you could have maybe 10 workspace threads inside their workspace. And anytime they want to, they can go in and look and see, oh yeah, 2001, I remember we deducted that the truck we bought for our farm. All that information will remain there until you decide to remove it. So it's a great, very simple way for them to keep all the historical information related to you managing their accounts. So that's a nice feature. Is your clients probably wouldn't be able to find emails from 2021 about a truck, but if they go into Verifyle, they would be able to find any information that they needed related to those projects. So those are sort of the main benefits, the main reasons to use Verifyle. So again, just to remind you guys how to get it. every member of COCPA gets a free Verifyle Pro account. The way you get that Pro account is you just go to this website, which is verifyle.com/COCPA. Should be pretty easy to remember. And you sign in there with the email address that COCPA has on file for you, and you'll automatically get the Pro version of Verifyle without having to give a payment method, without having to do anything. And you can get up and running really quickly once you have your Pro account. This is what you'll see when you go to that website. So you just enter your email, hit next, and you're up and running. If you do want to see a full-length demo of Verifyle that will go into a lot more detail, show you everything that I just showed you and more, just search for Verifyle Pro full demo on YouTube, and you'll see some different options. Just pick the newest one. It's about an hour long, but it covers every detail, shows you how to use pretty much every single feature. And when you can cover every feature for a piece of software in an hour, that means the software is pretty simple to use. I can remember back when I first entered the workforce, I took a 2-day full day class on Microsoft Excel. So, and I still don't think they covered everything in that two full days of instruction. So in Verifyle, 1 hour will get you fully educated on every single feature that we offer. So, so it's a really efficient way to learn.
So Dave, there is a question. Would clients
Okay.
need to create an account to sign a document?
Good question. So they do not need to create their own account. So this is a pretty common question. So let me explain how it works. When you share something with a brand new contact in Verifyle, a free Verifyle Basic, the free version of Verifyle, a free Verifyle Basic account is created for them. They don't have to sign themselves up. And then when they get the link in the email, they're taken straight into their own account to see what you shared. They do create a password on the way in. That's sort of the one step. They confirm their name and they create a password so that from then on, they can just log in with their email address and password anytime they want to share with you. But that you do not have to tell them to create an account. They're never sent to our website to sign themselves up. The account's created for them automatically, and it's really just a few clicks for them to get in and see what you shared. So, so I guess the shorter version of that answer would be no.
Yeah, and we use it, the BD team uses it for all of our contracts. And we have not had a single issue with someone going in and signing, and then I get an email once they've signed it to countersign it, which is super helpful. So it all happens automatically. It is amazingly simple.
Yeah, we're really proud of that, and we do get a lot of people who ask us to add features, and we almost never do. And it's mostly because we really just want this thing to be a very sharp tool that's purpose-built for doing a few things really well in an interface that anyone can understand.
And so another question, are there any file types that cannot be shared in Verifyle, such as pictures, etc.?
Another great question. No, you can share any file type in Verifyle, anything, including
It's agnostic.
Zip. Yeah, exactly. We're agnostic to file type. Now, there are some files that you can't preview inside Verifyle. So for example, if you try to preview a big Excel file, you won't be able to. You can't look at you can't look at some documents. You can't preview a zip file, for example, but you can share, upload, and download any type of file, literally anything, as long as it fits within your storage limit, which I should mention is 250 gigabytes, which is quite a bit of storage.
Yeah. And then did you mention also that they can brand it?
Yeah, actually, I didn't mention that, but yeah, thanks, Daryl, for bringing that up. The version of Verifyle that you have allows you to display your logo. So whenever one of your contacts goes into Verifyle, into one of your workspaces, they will see the Verifyle logo at the top, but they'll also see your logo if you upload one right next to the Verifyle logo at the top of the screen. So it basically it's a way of personalizing your system so that people know that that it's yours.
So there's 2 more questions in there.
Okay.
And I know it's lunchtime, so if anyone needs to get off, that's fine. We'll be back on at 12:30. But you're more than welcome to stay on. So next question, are the messages sent through Verifyle separate from emails sent through Outlook?
Yes. So these are not emails. These are just messages. And the email alerts that we send to our users to let them know there's something new for them in Verifyle do not contain documents or messages. They just let you know that there's something new. You have to come into Verifyle to see it. So what I showed you earlier, which is a thread, that's where you find all the messages and documents. You will not find them attached to emails. Those messages, we don't believe email is secure. So we never send the information that's been shared in Verifyle in an email. So they'd be separate from Outlook emails.
And then the next one, can tax returns be automatically printed from the tax program to the client's workspace?
No, you can't print something or even send something directly into Verifyle. You would need to first save it to your computer or print it as a PDF onto your computer and then upload it into Verifyle after it's been saved to your computer.
All right, great questions, everybody.
Yeah.
Again, I shared the link to there's a Verifyle webpage at cocpa.com. You can always just search for it. That has some information. We do occasionally host other full hour demos, which we share out. But I encourage you to consider using it, and they have great customer support. So they can always help you answer questions. And there actually is some conversation in Connect. If you search on Verifyle, and you'll see what other people have said and some of the questions that they've asked. We had a conversation, I think, last week about staff being able to log in. I can't remember the gist of it, but it was in Connect, and Dave helped me answer that question. So very responsive. It is a member benefit, so we're really proud to be able to offer it, and we want people to use it if they can. So it doesn't make sense for everybody, but it does make sense for a lot of people. So thanks,
Yep.
Dave. Appreciate it.
If there's any questions, reach out to me. You saw my email at the end of the presentation, or just reach out to support@verifyle.com and we'll get back to you really, really fast.
Yep. Fantastic. Thanks, everybody.
Cool.